Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce and Patrick Kay.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. Well, it was Gamescom a few weeks back, and there was a lot of news coming out of there. No Sony conference, but they had a big old Microsoft one, and EA had their own little conference as well. They showed off a new mode that's going to be in the new Star Wars Battlefront game called Fighter Squadron, which seems to be kind of pandering to the demand for there to be some kind of aerial combat. So this mode is going to pit you in sort of TIE fighters versus X-Wings. I think there's going to be some AI controlled bots in there as well. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I don't think that worked terribly well in Titanfall, to be honest. But yeah, it's not proper...
It didn't work in Star Wars Galaxies either.
No.
Where everybody said, yeah, the planet stuff's alright, but would you mind just doing stuff in space? So they basically put a console shooter in space and said, yeah, we'll do some stuff with it later. What a pile of arse. It didn't work in the Old Republic very well. The ship stuff there was pretty shite.
This one is not actually in space. It's kind of above a planet.
Atmosphere stuff.
Yeah, and apparently the objective is it's like a blow up the enemy's big ship.
Oh, the bit with Vader looks cool though.
Oh, you mean like in previous games we had to blow up the Titan stuff?
Yeah, probably.
Right.
But I think you get these hero units which I think work in a similar way to the ground game where, I think you collect a token or whatever and then that means that when you get to respawn as like Vader or the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it's not selling the game anymore to me. I don't think.
No,
I'm not convinced it's going to be any more than a sort of tacked on thing.
I'm totally excited for seeing the inside of an X-wing cockpit, but like I think it really deserves to be.
Mate. Just make one Unity.
Yeah, I know, but
do it.
It needs to be in a game in its own. I think it absolutely deserves. Like we've got so many of these like cool space games, like space combat sims, like coming out, and like this is the missing one, isn't it? The Star Wars one is the missing one. All I want to do, and this has been like a game fancy for at least 10 years. I want an MMO set in the Star Wars universe that's just in a cockpit. It's just in a spaceship.
So like Elite.
Star Wars Elite. Exactly. Elite Dangerous in the Star Wars.
Right,
I would love that. Holy shit, that'd be amazing. Just give me that.
You just need to like cloud your glasses up a bit and you could just play Elite. I mean, you can just
play Elite and just put the Star Wars soundtrack on.
Yeah, on your desk.
Yeah,
but come on,
just put the soundtrack on.
Give me an X-wing. Just give me an X-wing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think maybe this might have been better as like a thing that came later, like afterwards as DLC
or a separate game.
I think people might not have minded it being DLC if it was really good, like fully featured and kind of plugged into their game. That's like a legitimate expansion, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Unless people really are against DLC like that.
I'm going to be passing on this one. I passed on... What was the Cops and Robbers one? They did
Star Wars Cops and Robbers.
Star Wars, yeah.
Hardline. Battlefield Hardline. Yeah.
Star Wars, give me my ring, bitches, innit? By all accounts, the gameplay is slightly dumbed down a bit, and I think there's a bit of a Star Wars overload at the moment. What with the recent announcement for us while recording of Star Wars Land, you can suck my sacks immediately. Not interested at all. It's just sucking the life out of it. And EA...
What, are you talking about the parks?
the parks, yes.
Oh, mate, I'm there. I'm camped out on day one.
I'm a slightly older gentleman, and I really can't be asked. So, I've had my childhood. I'm still reliving it. Obviously, we're talking about the childish pastime of playing games, which it isn't, of course. But I just, no, I don't want to go somewhere and have that commercialised like that. We were talking about this at work today, and when I was a kid, people were saying, oh, I can take my kids there and we can have a great time. When I was a kid, what I loved about Star Wars was making it happen in my head. So my dad, one Christmas, my dad made us a Hoth based out of polystyrene and a bit of wood. He got the characters and made little bits that they could stand in. It fit the Millennium Falcon inside, and you could put snow speeders and stuff. And it was probably the best Christmas present I had as a kid, because it was ours and nobody else had one. Kids from school would come around and go, wow, you've got a Hoth base. Because my dad knew about polystyrene and bits of wood. So we made that up. We didn't go there and it was handed to us on a plate. We created that with our minds.
Yeah.
And for me, the magic would be gone if I went somewhere and went into the cantina and it was like the movie.
There's only one...
It wouldn't do it for me. Because even though it would look like the movie, you would have the little kid and his parents next to him screaming his fucking head off, which is not like the movie. I'd rather have it in VR or in a video game. For me, personally.
It's right, I'm going to say the only place you really need to, if you want to be in Star Wars, is a VR headset. Like, it's... Like, I don't know if you... Ian, have you played the demo with the lightsabers and stuff?
No.
It's amazing. Like, that is the closest you're ever going to be to using a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Having a motion control like the Razor Hydra or something and having it light up. It feels so good. Like, that's all you need for VR, isn't it? That's all you need for Star Wars.
Star Wars Land will make more money than God has, I'm sure, and it will be a massive success. And I look forward to hearing tales that people are having, people will share after it. But a bit like Battlefront, it's not what I that's not what I want to do. I don't want to go into a Star Wars arena game. That's not even the right word. A Star Wars multiplayer game and have people calling me a cunt, calling me a hacker. I'm pretty sure none of that happened in Star Wars. Don't fucking do that. Stick that brand in that environment and call it Star Wars.
I tell you what, now you
snobby elitist. But I think maybe I'm just anxious about the new movie. And once that's gone and it's been great, I'll go, yeah, right, let's book tickets to Star Wars Land. But at the moment, Star Wars.
Let's all go to Star Wars Land then.
No, let's not do that. But I just, it's enough, really, It's
honestly,
it's Harry Potter Land for Star Wars.
Yeah.
When are they going to fucking stop?
I will say, though,
X-Men Land next or some other shit.
I've got to say, though, one thing is guaranteed, that is going to have some cool AR and VR rides.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have Industrial Light and Magic working on that shit.
You won't be able to play in your bedroom.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
VR
all great
stuff
too,
with motion stuff, and, that'll definitely
I think I'm just... Star Wars is becoming dead to me. Fuck you, middle age.
I tell you what, Ian, when you mentioned about like having that voice chatter and stuff in your Star Wars, that is pretty much sealed it for me. I'm probably not going to get involved either, because that's the last thing I want in my Star Wars is people calling me the C word, or just people just sniping me in the head every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't think I want that at all. To be honest,
and that works for a World War II combat game, or Vietnam combat game, even a modern or futuristic combat game. But Star Wars is what Star Wars is. It's a fantasy story about kids and adventure and helping people and all that kind of shit. It's not about you cockwomble, you're a hacker. I don't want to hear that while the Star Wars music is playing. That ruins it. Sorry, I might be a bit of a purist or whatever, but no, enough of that.
To be honest, I think, with that in mind, I think having the Star Wars thing on there, because at first I thought, like, whenever I saw a Battlefield game, I'd be like, oh wow, yeah, that Frostbite engine does look impressive, but I was always waiting for the context to be more of something appealing to me, like Star Wars, or perhaps like Dragon Age. That was a good use of it. But yeah, so I always thought, like, the Star Wars license would sell me, but the Battlefield brand has never sold me, and I don't know, actually, when I think about it, if I want those things to cross over. I'd rather play like what Amy Hennig's going to do with her game, like Uncharted style.
I have been dabbling
or
with
a space game.
I've been dabbling with the Old Republic recently again.
Oh yeah.
I
and
love that game.
the multiplayer one, not the.
Oh, sorry, the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it's okay. There's still
Yeah, it's
people in
okay.
it. There's community still going strong. It's still.
I thought it was fine.
That,
it was.
That feels like Star Wars for me. Obviously, it's not, and it's not the classic periods and all the rest of it. But it still feels like a Star Wars universe. And while you can have shit going on in the little chat box in the corner, I still feel like Darth Vader could walk out round the corner. He won't. It's set in a different time period, but it feels like
that'd be weird.
It feels like it's a viable part of that universe. Battlefront is it's taking a system they know works and sticking a brand on it. It's like Lego Star Wars, is what it is, or Lego Indiana Jones. That's all it is.
It's like a full conversion. It's like a full conversion mod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be honest,
that they're charging, £40 for.
Yeah. I think I'm going to play it just because I'm so interested in how the game is put together. I'm really interested in looking at all that photogrammetry and stuff. So I think I'm going to play it for a geeky reason. But I'm with you guys on this. But the thing is, the way it feels to me is like they've got this awesome game that's existed for years and it's proven itself and it's really popular, and they've just gone, right, it's like Angry Birds Star Wars.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
And it's like I was saying about Batman. It's like, that does work, guys, but have you got any other ideas?
It's like a game. It's like a game created by a fucking marketing department.
It's too safe.
We've got this thing,
just
and
too
we
safe.
have access to this thing. Let's put them together and make gazillions of pounds.
Exactly. It's just too obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, if Activision had got the license, it would be Call of Duty Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Battlefront Call of Duty. That would work as well.
And then hell would freeze over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet would explode.
Okay, I think we've done that one. Mirror's Edge, there was some more gameplay footage of that. A little bit more of a closer look at it. Did anyone watch this?
I'm watching it now. Jumpy.
Skip.
Wall runny.
I think they've gone a bit open world with this, from the sound of it. But what you can do is I heard someone was explaining, probably Jeff Kanata was explaining what he played of it at E3, and they were saying like you can sort of set where you want to go, and then it will sort of highlight the world accordingly, sort of populating it with like how bits you can go up and sort of where to go. Well, it's just giving you guidance. It's not like a.
Wasn't that the? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Just because otherwise in that game, the first games, the vocabulary they used in the first game was blue goes up, red you go down, all that sort of stuff, and it kind of helps when you're sort of traversing a world like that at that pace. You sort of need some sort of. I think you can turn all that off and
Sorry,
use your own intuition.
Yeah, I'm aware it's not a puzzle game, but I think a game like that could work really well. There is a free running game on Steam, I think, where you're in like this world that it's a vertical and forward. It's a vertical and horizontal world, as most of them are. But when you skid, you can extend things in front of you. I think it's done in Unity. It's like I can't remember what it's called. Fuck it.
No, I don't know that.
I did a little series with it recently, and that was more of a puzzle game. How do I get from here to there? But this seems more like a cinematic free running experience. And by golly, it does look quite nice.
They've got rid of the combat as well. Apparently, the only combat in it is sort of it's like hand to hand, and it's all just about sort of evading rather than actually engaging in combat.
Right.
It's like push him into him, jump off his head to get on this platform sort of thing, I've heard. But I think it's going to be playable at EGX. I'm sounding like a bloody advert for EGX, aren't I? But it's the only big show we have in this country.
We're not sounding like an advert for EA, so that's all right, mate. You carry on.
No. So that's that. Anyone got any thoughts apart from?
I'll probably get this at the moment.
Yeah, I'll probably get it.
Looks good.
I think it's out early next year, which is starting to get a bit crowded. I'm going to be playing Fallout.
I would definitely like to see not a vertical slice. I'd like to see the YouTubers get their hands on it.
Yeah.
And get a less polished presentation of the gameplay.
Yeah, because I think you could argue that like the first game was like a great idea, but it was not like an amazing game.
Yes. So potentially it's like The Witcher. It's that kind of thing, where the first one was good, but could have had a bit more of this and stuff and a bit more polish.
Yeah.
And this looks much more polished, but it might be shit. We're being spoon-fed stuff at the moment. Did you say Kanata had seen it at E3?
Yeah, he'd had a go on it at E3.
And he thought it was good, or he thought
he thought it was like the realisation of what the first one promised.
Okay.
My concern is that it's going to be another fucking massive open world game.
Is it open world or is it?
Apparently so. Yeah. Yeah, they've built a huge sort of city with all the interiors, and you sort of, I don't know, go around. I think, like, you know, I there's nothing I can't imagine now that I've played The Witcher and how seamless that is. Like, the size of these games now is just getting insane.
Yeah,
so
it's an exciting time, isn't it?
Indeed. Anyway, from massive games to quite small-looking ones, Unraveled, there was another trailer for that.
What a lovely
that looked cool.
It's gorgeous.
It's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look kind of a bit twee, but it is very. It's very. Well,
What's
it does
wrong
look
with
like.
twee, Rob? Twee's all right sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
We spoke about this really recently, and I've said it so many times before. But I've got a real thing about when they make characters you actually care about not getting fucked up in horrible ways. Like
it's a bit of string.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I don't want that little guy to get all mashed up. Like that's. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I give a fuck about this game because that little guy. I don't want him falling in the water or whatever and dying horribly. So yeah, I totally gonna play this. I like the way that it's kind of like it's sort of like photorealistic graphics, but like for a sideways scrolling platformer. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah, they're like really, really nice like assets, isn't it? But with like a physics platformer kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks pretty cool. I wonder how much they're going to be charging for this, though. To be honest, because I don't know.
Be a 15 quid job.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd be. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there's just like a sort of expectation that comes with games of a certain style. But then, like, could they be going, oh, like this is Little Big Planet, and that was like a premium game?
Who's making it? EA.
Yeah.
40 quid then. Sorry, 40 quid for the standard edition, £70 for the Premier Edition, and £90 for the year subscription to all the DLC that will cost you £20 a pop edition.
And you
get like a ball of
string, a ball of yarn that costs like 2p, but it's got an EA sticker on it.
A single sliver of yarn mounted in a display case. Because they'll just buy one ball of wool and that'll give everybody get a bit of... Wow. Sorry, EA, you have done good stuff. Sorry. And this does look great. Sorry.
It does look cool, doesn't it?
Don't stop sending us the free stuff that you do send us. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. There was Blizzard were there, and they announced the new World of Warcraft expansion called Legion. This one's going to boost the level cap up to 110 because you need your little dings. There's going to be a new Demon Hunter class, which I think is based on one of the main WoW characters. I think it's going to be a pet class, or you're going to be able to transform into different forms. There's going to be artifact weapons, not really sure what that means, and class orders. I don't really understand that either. But
I would be more. I know this is never going to happen and probably impossible to do. If it got a lick of paint, I would probably go back to WoW.
It's already had that, hasn't it? Didn't they give it one after Cataclysm? Wasn't that a big upgrade?
But it still looks like it did 11 years ago.
Or is it just the new stuff that looks good?
The new areas are better looking than the older areas, but the older areas look better. But it still has that particular style, which is fine. But I played towards the end of last year. I sort of resubbed and got a character up to 70, a panda up to 70, and all of that was great. I love the cataclysmed new areas were great. All of the content areas that I'd loved before were not boring because travel was faster. But when I got to the end, I just thought, no, I can't. I was just doing it with rose-tinted spectacles, and now I just can't be arsed. However, if they brought the visuals up to date, maybe is that the right thing to say? I don't know. I might give it another look. But there are better looking things with extremely similar gameplay, like Wildfire. What's that? Is that the space? Is that Wildfire or something? WildStar.
WildStar. Yeah, that's very WoWish, isn't it? But in a different but setting.
Even though it's very WoWish and the gameplay is pretty identical, the graphics, it looks like a game for today instead of a game for 11 years that they're still managing to produce content that people want to buy. And that's a shitty thing for me to say because WoW is an amazing game, but there's other things that do it slightly better.
Oh, I know, but the thing is, what WoW does is it's a game for non-gamers. I've got friends who only play WoW. You know, they don't play other games. That they like WoW. That's what they know. They're good at it. They've made friends on there, and that's all they care about. Apparently, they're down to 5 million players again, but
which is rubbish.
That's only you know, for other games that would be like amazing.
And
you
it's
know,
only
as
because
soon as
they've
this
had 12 or 15 that everybody goes, 5 million's a bit rubbish. What?
Yeah, and as soon as this expansion comes out, they'll double it again.
Yeah,
because people will be like, "Oh,
and
I need
just
to
to be clear,
get."
that is 5 million people paying £10 a month each to play WoW.
Yeah.
It's a fuck ton of money. Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's unreal when you think about how long they've been doing that for as well.
So
it's mountains of gold, literally.
Good luck to them. Fond memories.
A dragon horde, if you will.
Oh.
Xbox were there. They were showing off a lot of the games that were absent from E3. Probably the one that I'm most sold on would be Quantum Break, maybe. This is the new Remedy game that they showed off at the original Xbox One announcement.
Yeah.
It's another time travelling sort of thing. It's got some. I think that there's quite a grand setup for this, and it's probably going to be shit. Is basically it's going to be a TV show as well.
Hello, Defiance.
But that's still going, isn't it?
It's still going, yeah. And I don't know that it's shit. I played the game a few months back. It was still okay.
Yeah.
It was still alright.
Well, anyway, they showed some action of this, and it does involve you like being able to slow down time, but also like run really fast, being able to sort of slow enemies down. I mean, it looks like pretty incredible, and you've got to remember these are the guys that came up with Max Payne. So
doesn't this video that they're showing, this isn't fair on them. Sorry, Remedy, but doesn't it look like how Watch Dogs looked when they were demoing Watch Dogs and everybody went, this is going to be the best game ever?
I don't know.
In the same kind of, wow, we've not seen that before, this is going to be absolutely breathtaking when we do that. And then you actually do that and it's a bit meh.
I think it's going to be fine in the context of like, a 20-hour linear game like Alan Wake or Max Payne. I'm hoping they don't turn this.
With the TV show though, how is it?
I don't know. Oh, I did hear that I think that the TV show is more concerned with the villains, and and so you'll get to see what's going on from a different perspective.
Right.
So I think that's the relationship, but it's got Dominic Monaghan, the Hobbit guy,
yeah.
I think, and
also Charlie from Lost.
Yes, and also Littlefinger from Game of Thrones is in it too.
Also, the teacher from The Wire. Oh, I'm on form tonight. He was the teacher from The Wire, wasn't he? Come on.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll put it in the show notes. I'll put the IMDb in the show notes.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But anyway,
it's got some interesting things,
and it's got,
like graphically.
What's his name from X-Men as well?
Yeah.
There's some quite original looking things going on in the gameplay.
Well,
I think it's going to be a case that you're going to get very bored of seeing that thing after the first.
That's what I mean about
50
Watch
times.
Dogs. That's what I mean because the hacking stuff in the trailer for Watch Dogs was amazing. And the first time you're being pursued by cops and you get the shit to come up, and it was amazing. But eventually, it's just fuck off cops. I want to go
X.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm hoping that it's more gameplay to support story, like Max Payne, than story to support gameplay, which was Alan Wake.
And to be fair, that is how it looks. It looks like it looks pretty awesome, actually. This is just Xbox One, right?
Yep.
Fuck's sake.
Although Microsoft at Gamescom continued to reiterate how they are trying to make Windows 10 and Xbox a completely seamless proposition. That's their company line right now.
But do they mean putting Windows 10 on Xbox One, or do they mean?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Right.
That's as in people should be able, like they're promoting cross-platform play, all this kind of stuff. And if they want this stuff to work, then they need to be supporting Windows. And I think, as far as Quantum Break's concerned, nothing's been announced yet, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it came to PC eventually.
It's got a touch of the Infamouses about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a good thing. They were good games.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Infamous 1. By the end of 2, I was a bit done with it.
Did you play the other one, the Blood Tie Monster people? Right.
No, the vampire sort of standalone DLC thing. No, I didn't play that one. I'd sort of had enough of it by then. And the last one they put out definitely wasn't selling me a PS4. Although I heard it was pretty good.
Lost Light, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the standout. There was some. They had Crackdown 3 there. I don't know if it was playable or not, but one thing that they were tooting about it was the fact that they're using the power of the cloud to. No, I know that sounds wank, but what they're doing, they're using it to track the destructibility of the city environment. So apparently that.
Right.
Because they're taking that load off the processor to keep track of, or the memory or whatever.
I'd like to take a load off my stomach every time that fucking phrase is. Jesus.
Yeah, I know it's cringy, but and the thing is, the thing that has made it cringy though is the fact that they've not had any good reason for it saying it. Nothing has actually.
Technically, I understand what they're trying to do and why it would make sense. It's just when you use cloud, it's just. Somebody needs to come up with a better way of calling that.
Yeah.
Because the cloud, and we get it at work all the time. Oh, do you use the cloud by fat old men in business suits? No, I don't. Well, do you even know what you're saying? It's like it's become a buzzword. That's the thing. It was a buzzword before it actually was useful for people. And to hear it used in this context just makes my fucking blood die a cell at a time, really.
Well, I think that there was a more detailed explanation of it. They were saying that they, because it's effectively like virtual servers, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
So they're saying that when you boot up a game, it creates like a little sort of instance, and then that instance will track like all the buildings you knock down, so that when you respawn into that map, the game isn't having to redraw it all; it's all there, So they're saying that this is the first game to sort of properly take advantage of it. So good on them.
Yeah, and it looks great. It looks really awesome.
I've not played any of the Crackdowns, despite being an Xbox for so long.
They're both on the Xbox One, aren't they?
Yeah, this is all Xbox One.
Right.
So the other game was. Sorry, have you guys actually played Crackdown? Any of them?
No.
I've heard very good things
I played the
about
first one. I played the first one, I think.
I think I played a demo of the first one and was just like, this is an open world game like that Grand Theft Auto game that I liked when there were not many open world games. So I think it had that benefit of being one of the first, or not first, but one of the earlier ones from the last generation. But the second one I heard was very derivative and just added zombies or something.
It's very zombies.
They're pretty bonkers games. There's a lot of humour in them.
Yeah, well, it's all about like being like a superhuman and throwing cars around and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, so, it's all very amped up and overdriven. Yeah.
And finally, the last sort of Xbox exclusive that we saw was this game called Scalebound, which is by Platinum Games. And oh dear.
Yeah. I'm not the only one who thinks this looks shite, right?
I'm not the only one that cringed inside out and went back in time from embarrassment at
Let's talk about the
voice
cloud.
acting.
I'd rather talk about the cloud.
This guy is like the main protagonist of this game. They must have just basically used like one of those word clouds or something. While we're talking about clouds, let's wrap that in. like it's like, right, yeah, okay, give him a dragon arm, but he's got to be a cocky shit with wireless headphones as well.
Right.
And he's like,
it
oh,
looks
come
all right,
on.
It looks okay. The monsters,
It's you,
the big beasts
it's-
look good.
It's like Akira meets How to Train Your Dragon or something, isn't it?
I
It's
suspect the Western area is not the target audience for this.
Yeah.
maybe, but haven't they given up now with the Japan thing? Like, really?
Too soon,
they-
man. Jesus.
Are they bothering with that? No, I mean, like, they have consistently failed to build an audience in Japan with every console they've made. And I think
Yeah.
they gave up, and they don't even have, like, an office there anymore. It's like a joke.
But this is for the Xbox One, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But, yeah, it looks like vaguely like sort of Monster Hunter, I suppose. But, yeah, they did a big sort of announcement and a trailer and the fact that it was Platinum Games. But, honestly, I think this game is going to
I'm
be a bit of
sensing
a
it's
car
not
crash.
for us.
Possibly not.
However, it's your right
yeah.
to buy it if you want to.
It looks quite impressive. I don't know
Does it
why
look
that is
quite-
not
I'm
impressing
sure
me.
It doesn't. It just looks a bit dated.
I've already
really.
forgotten what it looks like. I looked at it about 10 seconds ago.
Well, you've got a big stompy dragon that's walking around, and I don't know. I feel like, yeah, maybe younger Rob would have really appreciated this, but
What? But now you're in
think-
your 60s, it's all a bit too much for you.
I guess I'm just too. Yeah, I don't know
Too
what's wrong
cynical
with
and
me.
jaded. Mate, you've
Yeah,
been that
probably.
cynical and jaded all your fucking life.
I guess I'm used to. I guess after Dragon Age, I'm used to sort of seeing
Yeah.
big dragons like that and
Yeah.
stuff. So
You desensitised the dragons.
yeah,
Yeah.
too many dragons.
Too many dragons.
Too many dragons, not enough Daenerys, whatever the plural of Daenerys is.
Indeed. Right. Okay. I'm just getting aware of the time, and there's a lot more on this list. So, was there anything particularly at Gamescom on this list that you're
We Happy
interested
Few
in?
looks really good.
Yeah.
That looks kind of novel and a bit dark in a
Yeah.
kind of Bioshocky kind of way, which looks great.
Tomb Raider still looks awesome.
I have to say that
Yeah.
the trailer for the Homefront sequel looked really, really good. Even given
Yeah.
the first Homefront was one of the worst games I have ever played in my life.
This is the first we've heard of it since E3 last year.
Yeah, but the trailer kind of ticked all the boxes for me. If they can pull some... There wasn't any gameplay, was there? There was some gameplay.
There
Yeah.
was some gameplay. They showed off the the remote control car bomb again.
Yes.
It looks kind of like a bit Far Cry style, but set
Yeah.
in a sort of a post-apocalypse sort of
And
setting.
it could be okay.
I play games like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3, obviously, sweet Jesus, this can't come soon enough. Obviously, Mad Max is coming quite much sooner, and I'm day one for that. Just Cause 3 will become a 200-hour game for me pretty quickly, I think. It just looks as insane as the others, with more insanity added. Well done,
Yeah.
Avalanche. Loving your work.
setting for Mafia 3 looks kind of interesting. New Orleans in the 60s. I still haven't played Mafia 2.
Oh, it's a
But,
good game. It's good.
Yeah,
I know,
I really
I've
enjoyed that
yeah.
one.
I've totally got it. It's been on my Steam list for ages, but I don't know. I just haven't had like a chance to fit it in. It probably
you only
still
need like 15 hours or something. It's quite a short one.
is it.
Yeah, real short.
Oh, I'll try and get to that then soon. But yeah, I'll be up for Mafia 3. I think that's out next year. They're saying. But yeah, non-Caucasian main protagonist as well, which made people quite
17
happy.
hours it took me to do the... actually, it was 15. I've played it. I restarted it a while back.
Oh, I'll do that then. I enjoyed the first one. That was so long ago.
Oh, the first one was great, wasn't it?
I was sharing a flat with Adam at that point. That was that long ago. So, yeah. But finally, need to mention this new Elite content that's they announced there. Horizons is going to be like a full price expansion. I think those of us who got the lifetime pass don't have to pay for it. Did you guys get that?
I didn't, but I'm not playing enough Elite at the moment to give a shit, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great, it looks good, and I wish them every continued success, but I can't put 400 hours a week into Elite like I want to.
I keep jumping into it and it's just like my go-to. You're in a spaceship simulator.
But this is going to have the planetary landings that we were all quite excited about when they mentioned it.
Yeah, that was before I made a game that had planetary landings myself. I'm less excited about it now.
Well, fair enough. I think I like the way that like they were talking about how you're going to be able to get a vehicle and it will take up like one of your cargo slots, and then you can land and get into your little vehicle and do stuff.
I'm sure it will be great, but until I win the lottery and stuff. I've been thinking about Elite a lot recently. I know we're pushed for time, but the reason I enjoyed Elite when I was a kid was because I was a gangly, spotty youth that would cause girls to turn to stone whenever they gazed upon me, and I found it a great place to just sink a ton of hours into and lose myself in. Because at the time, I had 9 hours a day when I came back from school, crying from the abuse and bullying I'd received, to get in my Cobra and fly around and shoot shit and trade stuff, and I loved that. I don't really have that time anymore, and when I backed Elite, why the holy fuck did I think I would suddenly have that time that you really only had when you were a teenager? Now I've got responsibilities.
So what you're saying is, if we want you to play more Elite, we have to start bullying you.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
More than you do already. When can I come out of the cupboard? I don't like doing a podcast from the cupboard.
Yeah, no, I totally
Face
agree,
the
mate.
wall.
I like when I first started playing it, I like sunk a ton of hours into it.
Yeah.
Played like 20 hours in like over a couple of days and stuff, and it was really cool and stuff. But yeah, I can't keep doing that. And like I say, I keep going back to it and keep playing it sort of like 10-20 minutes at a time, and I'm totally fine with that being my experience of just like landing and taking off is enough for me.
Yeah, I know. I go
Love
back
it.
to it and it's like just to check out some new feature, and it's like I have to watch like 3 videos first to even grasp a shred of what they're talking about. You know, it's like the power play system. You get points to defend, and you've got all these like, oh my god, it's mind-boggling. Like if you're playing that game every day, then you'll just get it. It's just like, but it's like reading a fucking textbook on a subject that you're not that familiar with. Like every time I sit down and play it, it's that infrequent.
Yeah.
And also the other thing I was thinking is that as great as these planetary landings are, they're saying there's going to be stuff on these planets, but I think it's going to be as vast and empty as the rest of it, to be quite honest, you know?
The key bit for me will be how much stuff duplicates. Maybe we know the answer to this already. When you land, can you go all the way around the planet, or are you landing on a tile of terrain that is the planet?
The map. No, I think the idea is that you can go all the way around it, which is just insane, because that's an entire fucking planet.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky is going to do that, and nobody's going, well, this planet's too big.
That's true.
Can you make
That
it
is very true.
instead? Nobody's doing that.
I guess there will be like points of interest on these planets, like in the same way you'll go to like. This is how I imagine is like the same way you go to like a resource extraction point. You'll go to like an area of mineral density, and you'll mine that for all it's worth. And have to watch out for people. Have to watch out for people firing shit at you from above, I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably just going to be like procedurally generated terrain, isn't it? It's going to be. Yeah. It's just going to be mountains and shit.
Yeah. I think I read something as well, like when you're on your little vehicle, that you won't show up on radar, because I think otherwise you'd just be a target.
Right. Okay.
So something like that, or you can get a stealth thing. I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably. Well, this is the thing though. Yeah, it's £30 for people that already have the game, and it's like, it's really just down to like whether I think I'm going to have enough time over Christmas. I'm taking a couple of weeks off work, but Fallout 4, you know, that is going to eat my holiday, I think.
My God, I look forward to hearing about that from everyone. Awesome.
Yeah.
I just need to scroll back and say, if, listener, you are a spotty, gangly youth that turns women to stone whenever they look upon you, fear not, because life will shine upon you, and one day you'll be the stunningly attractive men, successful and married, as we all are in this podcast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Not that marriage is a thing of success. Moving on. Edit the fuck out of that, please.
Yeah, I'll just delete it.
Thanks,
Right. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. It looks like we've had a few new listeners from looking at our stats and things. So if you are new and you like what you've heard here or you don't, we'd really like to know what you think of the show. And if you've got anything to add to any of our conversations, please do contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us or tweet at us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and you can also find other podcasts there, such as our namesake, notlistening.co.uk, or the Not Listening Podcast, rather, where they are there's 3 very funny guys, Adam, Ash, and Will, and they talk about some really funny, random stuff. And also, if you like listening to me and Ian, we're also on the Not Watching podcast, where we talk about TV and movies and stuff. So that can be quite good too sometimes. I'm really selling this, aren't I?
Rob doesn't do marketing.
If you're listening to us on iTunes, you can give us a review there. Music is by Miracle of Sound. And that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya!
I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck at Call of